Good morning, Mount Salem. Thank you for allowing me to share what God has done in my life. My name is Barry Robert Westman. I live here in Mount Salem. Some of you may remember me by all the three-wheelers I used to ride around in here. I've always believed in Christ, but that being said, I still did things my way. After high school, I lived in an apartment in Elmer. It was a party house every night. I got hooked on crack cocaine. I was young and angry. I ended up going to Teen Challenge, graduating. I was baptized and fully believed, but still, I was not listening to what he was saying. Matthew 11:15 says, "Whoever has ears, let him hear." 2 years later, back into drugs, this time harder than before. I was injecting fentanyl. One night in particular, I remember Mom and Dad went to Mexico. Mom had suspected something was up when she was leaving. And I laid for 2 days, unable to reach the phone, trying to crawl for help. I vowed that when I came to, that I'd never do it again. I knew I had overdosed and almost died. My anger still terrible. I'd get into fights with my parents. So I moved. This led to 8 years of misery. I moved to Richmond Road into an acquaintance's who will not be named. I was able to do whatever I wanted pretty much, as long as I did work for him, which consisted in growing large quantities of pot, feeding all the dogs, and renovations. Sounds great, right? That's what I thought. Sorry. So here's where the biggest lie in my life was told. I was always mistreated there. I felt I was underpaid. I barely ever had any food, but I had money for my drugs. I had money for my alcohol, and I still had my anger. One day he told me, "You know you'll never have a real job. You know you'll never make it in life. You'll always need me to help you out." Well, I've been sober and clean now for 2 years, almost. I was found in Colton Swamp about almost a little over a year and a half ago, unconscious. When I came to, I realized, oh boy, I've messed up. I've never felt such shame, such anger and resentment at myself. But through all that, when I did leave the place I was living, a friend of mine brought me here. And that day was the only day I've ever had this happen. I couldn't speak. The only thing I could say was I was home, and I was crying it the whole time. I'm home. I've been at this church ever since. How do I know God's working in my life? I see it on the faces around me. I feel it. I notice it in my life. I'm eating. I don't have the desire to drink. My anger is getting a lot better, and me and my family are getting along a lot more than we used to. Thank you for letting me share my testimony with y'all. That's all I have.